Some people would say that I was prejudiced against white people. And I'm not. I am cautious because of the past narratives we have shared, the past timelines we have shared. When I was in school, the only times I had relationships with Caucasian people was when I would go to the mental hospital. That was when they were away from their families and I was away from my family. And so we were able to be children without having our parents' trauma present. Fast forward, because once we got out of the mental hospitals, we went our separate ways and rarely even spoke to each other again. Fast forward, I have 2 or 3 Caucasian people in my life who I love and care for and appreciate their time and attention. But because it's so rare, it makes me cautious. When I was in my 20s, I would hustle, get money, like be in the streets doing our thing, what we needed to do to survive. And sometimes I would do this with Caucasian trans women. So we would get money together, but we weren't necessarily trying to build anything together. We played to each other's differences and we used each other to that end. Oh, he want to be with a black girl. Oh, he want to be with a white girl. Oh, the couple wants to be with a black girl and a white girl. Okay, sister, let's go get this money. And I think that's what's happening in advocacy today. A lot of nonprofits have risen up and they use the black-white dynamic because you want to help the poor black people, poor unfortunate black people, but you want to make sure that there's going to be a Caucasian there to make sure things stay in alignment with colonialism, patriarchy, and white supremacy. So you want to make sure you have some Caucasians in the mix because we can trust, our Caucasian people in this system, in these systems. Needless to say, because of that, I was not able to thrive in a nonprofit setting. Fast forward again to the era where social media is becoming prevalent and we see all of these partnerships between Caucasian people and black people or Negro people as a means of getting money again. Now, the different thing about now is when you create content together, you are building together because what you put out on social media has the potential to outlive you. Now, back in the day when we were getting money together in the streets, it was like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Even working in the nonprofit sector to a certain degree, if you're not a public or visible person, once you leave that job, you left that hustle. You left that. If you were just there for the paycheck, you weren't really trying to build anyway. But when you create content and you want it to be authentic and you want it to be believable, you are building together. And so, with that said, the reason why a lot of time my content does not attract Caucasian people, and if you were to ask me right now about, Caucasian advocates and activists that I knew, it would be like, because I wouldn't really be able to tell you anybody, because a lot of what I see in activism amongst trans LGBT activists seems performative. And obviously, I don't center colonialism or anything in its proximity, but I don't create anti-Caucasian spaces. I shouldn't have to extend the olive branch for us to work together. The excuse that I've heard in the past about why they don't want to work with me is because of how I talk. And it's true, my language does not cater to white fragility. I am going to speak the way that I speak around Black people. And a lot of times I offend Black people. In my defense, it's typically the pick-me's though. I'm just saying. I don't cater to white fragility. I don't think that that's going to change anything. I don't think that that's going to heal anything. Most Black people that I know who have successful relationships with white people in business and building, they tend to code switch to cater to their white fragility. And if we are trying to create a tangible shift in this paradigm, if we're trying to shift patriarchy, if we're trying to shift a monotheistic religion that centers a patriarchal deity, if we're trying to shift homophobia, transphobia, if we're trying to shift racism and colonialism, if we're trying to shift out of that space, why should I always be the one expected to compromise my authenticity? And so until there's Caucasian people I see who have the capacity and the range and who have the confidence and the capability to share space with me without feeling slighted or feeling diminished. As I was working with this Caucasian lady some years back, and I'll never forget, I had on a fabric that cost $1, and I had on a headpiece that cost $1, another piece of fabric that cost $1, had on face paint, and I was actively using strong narcotics because I was in a season of depression. And she had a white trans daughter, and that was part of the reason how we connected. And I no matter what I'm dealing with in my life, I carry myself in a way that's dignified, and some people say it's regal. And I'll never forget, she told me one day when we were having the event, she said, "You think you're better than me, don't you?" And that took me back, because that was the last thing on my mind. Like, that was how she was feeling subconsciously, because most Caucasian people are used to engaging with pick-me's who have been trained to code switch for them. And so when you are around an authentic Black person who is not going to diminish themselves, who is not going to shrink to make you feel comfortable, then it becomes an issue. Of me letting my light shine and holding my head up high and speaking with confidence and sovereignty and autonomy and authority makes you feel diminished, that sounds like something you need to work out with your therapist or whoever it is that you pray to, or whatever it is that you believe in. But yeah, I just wanted to say that before I begin my fast, because I will be doing a technological fast. I will not be doing any videos or posting anything for 3 days. So I just wanted to do that video and share that, and also let everyone know that I will be taking a fast, a 3-day fast, from posting, from phone calls, from all of that. So I'm gonna be calling family members today, checking in on people. Then I'm going to go into my cocoon and woosah, and just Anyway, love over money. You don't have to be filthy rich to stand on business. Lay Lim Lay Nation, purple ones rise.